Hello, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to yet another edition of your favorite program, Game of Thrones. We are very sorry for starting at this hour due to technical issues. So we're going to dive into the topic of discussion. Today we are asking ourselves, is voter apathy a sign of a healthy democracy or a failing one? That will be the question we shall be asking our panelists. So by my left, we have Michael Lekele-Fak. He is a civil society activist and a barrister at law. Good evening, barrister, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Kenji. Good evening to my co-panelists and to the millions of televiewers of television. It is my pleasure to be here to reflect on this important question. Which is, I think, very timing because we are into elections very soon. So we need to know what the lack of interest.
Certainly.
That this is helping to promote democracy, if at all we are in a democracy or not.
I think we're in democracy.
So I think when we get into the discussion,
yeah.
I have to contribute chip in the later. I have to say.
And beside you is the only queen of the program. She is called Queen Jokem. She is a communication expert. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Akinji. Good evening to my co-panelists. Good evening to beautiful and handsome Cameroonians watching us right now, home and abroad. Good evening to all citizens that are willing to take responsibilities into their hands come the 12th of October 2025. Good evening to all the candidates that are envisaging what will be done when time comes on the 12th of October. I hope that on today's program we are definitely going to be trashing the question of voters' apathy, and we will be understanding. Of course, I know many people already know whether Cameroon is living a real democracy or not. We are going to be looking at what this means for Cameroonians, for citizens.
Okay, and with us in the studio we have Bless Kwajika. He is a political actor. Good evening, Bless, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Kenji. Good evening to my co-panelists. It's always a pleasure for me to be here.
Okay, and beside you have a full Godfred. He's a communicator with the ruling CBDM party. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr.
Kenji.
Kenji,
yeah.
I'm very grateful to be here this evening, and I believe that I'm going to be up to date to make Cameroonians understand the importance of going to vote and choose their own candidate for the management of public affairs. And I want to extend my greetings to my viewers right at Ebolova. After Ebolova, I'm going to Kiosi.
Okay.
So I think they are watching us right now.
And beside you have Hansen Mishi. This is not your first time coming to the program. He's a communicator with the CPNR.
That's right.
Yeah, party. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Jude. Good evening to my co-panelist. Good evening, Cameroon. Hoping that tonight we're going to be able to help encourage those who think that voter apathy is the way out, and also to assure those who have decided to engage that there is the possibility of having a better Cameroon. Thank you.
Okay. I would always like to begin with, they will say ladies before gentlemen. Queen, you have the floor. According to you, is voter apathy a sign of healthy democracy or a failing one?
Okay, thank you for giving me the floor first. I think for the sake of clarity on what voter apathy is, we should start by understanding what is apathy.
Of course.
And then what is voter apathy. So apathy means lack of interest, lack of motivation, lack of enthusiasm, or lack of concern.
Certainly.
And by this definition, we can guess that voter apathy is definitely when citizens show little interest, yes, in elections or political participation. Now, this can signal different things depending on the state of democracy in the country. So if the country is democratically sound, the implication of voter apathy will definitely be different from a country where the context, the democratic context, is not healthy. And because, of course, we are Cameroonians and we're talking about voter apathy, we're definitely referring to our own context. I would say, without any, any doubt of words, that voter apathy in Cameroon is definitely a strong sign of a failing democracy, like the question we are addressing. Yes, the fact that most citizens in Cameroon show very little or no interest at all, very little or no enthusiasm when it comes to political participation, political enthusiasm or concern, it is a sign that the democracy is failing. Because, many people, when you hear citizens start saying that, okay, we don't even want to get involved in the voting system because we already know what the results will look like. We already know that the votes will be rigged. We already know that the results will not reflect the reality at the polling stations and in the ballot boxes. This is a sign that true democracy can be questioned in Cameroon. So, starting off from that definition, I think I can let my other co-panelists throw in their first words on what their perspective of voter apathy is before we start going into other details.
Yeah, and I think when I'll be coming back, there are questions I'm going to ask.
Yeah, definitely.
Barrister, tell us, when we talk about this, is it a healthy democracy or a failing one when we have voter apathy?
Thank you, Mr. Kenji. I think I will not go back to what my brilliant co-panelist has made with respect to voters' apathy, the definition which is very, very precise and concise.
Of course.
But what I want to say, I may want to differ with her is she was talking that if we are in a failing democracy, I want to explain when we were in the democracy before. Because
before coming to failing democracy?
Before coming to whether it is a failing or a healthy democracy.
Why democracy in Cameroon?
The democracy, I think we should, excuse me.
No, we understand the climatic condition.
We should stop getting ourselves with the illusion that we are living somewhere when we have not even started.
So according to you, we are not in democracy?
When we talk about democracy, democracy, is it the Cameroonian context of a democracy, or is it we have some criteria which qualify a country to be a democracy?
Talking about Cameroon, I think we're in Cameroon.
If we are talking about the Cameroon, is it because we are talking about papers which is talking about democracy, but in practice we are living in an autocracy? Is it so? Do you want that? Do we face the facts as they are, or we face the paper, which is the paper, what we are writing on paper and what we are living? Do you say what you live, or you say what you read? I think we have grown past the stage that we should be consoling ourselves with what we are reading, and even what we are reading, we should try to adapt to what we are, what we have. So when you talk about the failing democracy, that is why I said, when were we first in the democracy that we want to judge the voters' apathy today? Is it the fact that we are going to elections, that we have multi-party, we have many candidates, that we are talking about a condition of a democracy? But if we are talking about participation, when there is no, when people are vying for change, and we are talking about they're clamoring for change everywhere, clamoring for change, and people, like she rightly said, some are not interested to go because they don't feel that their votes will count, then what are you talking about? Okay,
now the question I'm asking you is, you think this aspect is a sign of healthy democracy or a failing one? Yeah, from what you've been saying, maybe you're talking there's no democracy, but now let us see. Even if you're talking there is a failing one, now I will want you to give us maybe ways on which we can bounce back, if at all they are failing.
Of course, what we need, what we need, Mr. Kenji,
yes,
is first of all to understand that when we talk about the democracy, there are indicators which give us, like in Cameroon, we have just one which you can be talking about, the competition, which you see plenty of actors running. But I think when you look about many actors who even complain the conditions of participation or organization, which are like we have a player. We have a player who at the same time is a referee. You see that we are still yet to meet those objective conditions which will permit that the voter apathy, which today is like a problem, should get out of it. We should get out of it, that people will feel, because I think objectively, Mr. KG, the institutions which are put in place today, we see that going for an election is just some sort of, to me, some sort of, it's just like telling people, let's go out to make some fun. There is nothing serious out of it, because let's look at the conditions under which we are talking about voters' apathy. I think yesterday, or is it yesterday, one of the papers reported one of the candidates in the Northwest calling Elekam to relocate a polling station.
That's Joshua Osi.
Joshua Osi.
Who filed in a complaint, and
so
Elekam reacted.
Relocating a polling station. So go to the crisis-affected areas where people are being threatened, and the President of the Republic himself has underscored this in the at the last election, where he said he recognized the fact that people were scared to go and participate in voting. Today we are in 2025. What are the conditions which have been put in place to permit that these people who did not vote in 2018 should vote freely today without any problem? I
think that's one of the reasons why Elekam has to react.
And if Elekam has reacted, are we saying that the conditions now will permit a general participation for those who have freely registered? So that is why I say, if you want me to talk about democracy, then I want to go with what my co-panelist, Madam Queen, just said, that we are in a failing democracy.
Okay, according to you, we shall be coming back to ask some more questions. Bless, and with you, when we talk about voters' apathy, is it a sign of a healthy democracy or a failing one?
Voters' apathy has always been a threat to our democracy. It has always been a threat to our democracy. And why is it a threat? Because we see people do not have that capacity to exercise their rights, their constitutional rights. That is self-governance, choose their own leaders, and other people are there who are conservatives, if I can say so. And we can say, what are the reasons that at times leads to this issue of voters' apathy? We can talk of, at times you can have like the case in Cameroon, when the country, we are faced with social unrest, nepotism, when the state fails to take some of its activities, it discourages the people to really engage themselves in the electoral process. But Mr. Kenji, I think our role now should be to sensitize Cameroonians, since we are waiting for October.
No, the eve.
The eve. We are already at the eve. I think the solution to the voters' apathy should still relies on the sovereign people, because they are those to choose. They are those to decide who should manage their resources, who should lead them. And I would like what Barrister said,
yes,
concerning that there are people who have the institutions and they manipulate everything for themselves, which discourages people. I think we have seen example that tyrants, people that are so undemocratical, that is people who sit on the state institutions to feed themselves fat. Like what happened, like what we saw in Gambia with Yahya Jamal. Is Yahya Jammeh a president? He was one of the powerful presidents in Africa. Despite all what, that's what I would say, I will not be the same line with what Barrister said. It's something which needs popular, that is, the people need to show that anxiety. They need to come out, turn out of the people. They need to show that interest. It's not because leaders will coin all the laws in their favors, that means we need to sit and stay silent. No, it's possible. And there are so many, in Cameroon, we see in the past elections, there have been voters' appetite, except in 1992, where we saw a turnout. I have some statistics here, if you permit me to give to our televiewers, so that they can, like in 1992, you can see, for instance, we had the rate of participation, the rate of abstention, that was at 19%. From a total voters registration of 4 million Cameroonians, it was around 4 million, 4.5 million. Then when you see the turnout, the person who emerged first and the person who emerged second, you will see that that anxiety, that enthusiasm was there. People wanted change. But as time went on, that is 1997, 2004, 2011, the rate of abstentions keeps on increasing. But now, as politicians, we need to ask our questions, these questions. What is really happening that people really feel have been abstaining? You will see that some of these issues have been attached with the behavioral factors. That is the mentality of some politicians who are not sincere with Cameroonians. You will see that some politicians, they don't have a project to propose to Cameroon. All what they have is personal attacks. That is, attacks individuals. Biya must go. But they don't have something that can seduce the people. An alternative, if I can say so, that can really move masses, people to vote. At times when you watch democracy, how it is being practiced in the other ways, you will see people bring projects, bring visions on table, and these projects have been financed by their electorate. At times I ask myself, why is it that in the other way it's like that? Meanwhile, here in Africa and Cameroon in particular,
something different.
It's something different. It means when you are a politician, you will be someone who occupies a ministerial position. I don't know, or you are a director when you embezzle money. The money that is, you need to give checks, you need to present at the end of the year, do some kind of financial auditing. Because this is public finance that we are talking here. People use this money, spend on campaign, that is, they pay, people pay electorate, people to come and vote for them. And when people look at this type of behavior, they say, wow, where will I take this huge sum of money? Meanwhile, the money that they are spending are money for which is meant for Cameroonians. We are in a country where checks and balances is no more a priority to public. What can I say? That is, those governing us, they don't care about how to present their checks and balance in front of the people.
So we need, what they're saying is that it is supposed to be done publicly.
It means when you occupy a certain strategic position in this country where it needs to do with public finance, you need to come at the end each year. You need to present what you have done with the state budget, with the money, or how can I say, the project that you were being asked to carry on throughout.
I think there's a ministry for that goes around. And
there is a ministry for that. Yeah. There are still some kind of mechanism that stops some of these ministers. It's not a ministry, it's a whole, I think there is a state audit.
Yeah.
Headed by Madame Ba Acharos, which I will use this platform to, because at times we do our research. They do publish some of the results. But where we ask ourselves is, where the problem, the challenges that we face is at the level of the executive, because all of them, they are under a certain organ called the presidency of the President of the Republic. That's at the presidency. Is the presidency that needs to give some certain type of authorizations for certain decisions to be taken. So we are in the type of centralized states where all the powers is being given to an individual, which we need to rethink on that, on the next social contract. That is just to end, Mr.
Yeah, I wanted to cut you short, but
the reason why people don't vote is because their leaders are not accountable to them.
Okay.
Just to.
Thank you very much. Full Godfrey, what do you have to say concerning our topic of discussion this evening?
Yes, I think, Mr. Jude, I will talk here not more as a representative of the CPTM, but most as a political analyst, and
as a Cameroonian.
No, not that, as a Cameroonian, as a scientist.
Okay.
I have that luck that in the university, my first steps was I had a degree in the law and political science. That's what is given in the University of Chang. And after that, I had my master at the University of Soir in political science, and I continue in Limoges in France in political science. And I love the topic you gave there because when I listen, I laugh when Mr. Bless said
who was talking?
the proposition, what political leaders propose. That's the main point I took there. Because all the other ones was just like diversion. No, you see, I love your program because your program is not to come and maybe say this thing was not done, to analyze a situation. That's to contextualize a situation
and give possible solutions
and give possible solutions, not to come and say this one is not doing this. No,
of course.
So for that one, why is it that some people cannot give interest, that are not interested in voting? That's the question.
That's the question we're asking. Why is it that some people are not really having that urge?
So we have a course. We have a course that's 45 hours course on political marketing. Political marketing. That's you sell your product. That's where I laugh. I said he understood the topic, but just that he has to use some other this thing, maybe
mechanism.
He was not, mechanism. He was not on or still on the topic.
Okay.
When they talk about political marketing.
That's according to you.
Yes. No, it's not according to me. It's science. It's science. It's science. What do you propose to people before they will not be interested to vote? And here, I want to talk about 3 types of vote. You have those who will come and vote because they are convinced. You have those who will register. I will not vote. I will not even go to the polling station. And those who register and go to the police station, I will not choose any other person.
What may be the cause?
So now, yes, you need to have, when you have this, you know about these three. Now, I think it is because when you listen to them, it seems to be a problem of Cameroon. And I want to tell them that before the law that was proposed in the 21st of January 2025 in France to talk about this voting apathy, the Senate already proposed a law to see into it, because it is not a matter of Cameroon. There are people, when they listen to what political leaders propose, when they don't see themselves in what they propose, at the end of the day, there are some who will say, I will not even go to vote. There are some who will go and carry all the cards and put in the same envelope and vote. That's where they are talking about bulletin nul. And there are some who at the end of the day will be convinced by a proposition. And he said, when you give a good project, it can be financed by the voters even. And I want to even take example from his party. When the president of his party was talking about 11 million voters, you see that Cameroonians contribute for him to go in for the presidential election. That's what they call project. That's what makes a captivate. You understand? Now, when we are talking about the context of Cameroon, you discover that there are political parties that will only appear at the eve of the presidential election. Maybe there are some who have even had some mairie in some localities to manage. And when you look at them, there is nothing like example, because you know, when we talk about politics, we have micro and micro politics. Like in a micro, you excuse my English, I don't laugh at it, because in French I may explain it very well. And for that reason, you discover that you can demonstrate your politics by the little circle of power that was given to you. You see that a political party will win maybe an area, maybe je sais pas, une mairie, n'est-ce pas? But will be unable to apply what he always said that I can apply nationally.
Meaning
and for that reason,
you happen to win,
yes,
to be in control of a council,
a council, yes, a council,
but you are able to implement, or maybe
implement your policy.
Yeah, what you promise the people.
Yes, because it's from there that you convince the people from your project, and they will get in being interesting, so that your council will be as a reference. So now imagine we have 7 years to prepare for a presidential election. You come maybe 6 months before the election. Now you are even confused. Am I going alone? Am I going with others? And if I'm going with others, which program am I going to propose to others? And that is why you see that at the end of the day, we will have people who will just not be even interested to go and vote, and you have people who will go and will not choose anybody, and we have people because they are convinced of what have been done by others, and they will vote them.
Okay, Hansen, you have the floor. What's your view on the topic?
You know,
we're coming to you, Queen. You got to talk.
When a CPTM political scientist analyzes things, there must always be iotas of CPTism in.
why do you think so?
In their analysis.
No, there
is it's very important that when we're talking and we want to bring examples, we should always be very objective with the examples. The case of winning a local council, and then you're unable to execute,
of course,
project. We know the budgeting. We know at times the money that is supposed to be done to be used to be disbursed for a project comes in late. At times, before it comes in, the people in charge already have done what they can do with it. What comes in is worth nothing, and then of course, scientists from such parties can be able to use that as a perfect example to prove others' incompetence. Whereas the incompetence, of course, is from the top, because at the end of the day, even the council level is still expecting His Excellency President Paul Biya to sign a check or an authorization before maybe a quarter road is even constructed. So let's talk about voter appetite in Cameroon. The first thing first is I will look at the cost and solution, and we're looking at history. For somebody like me to be fully engaged in politics today is because I believe personally that if we decide as a people, there can be change. But let's look at history. From the years that he already mentioned, 1992, the 2007, the 2004, the 2011, the recent 2018. What changed? That's a question everybody's asking. As in, we have been voting, even if they have not voted. When they say we, they are talking about Cameroonians. As in, we voted for this number of years. What changed? So it is but normal for somebody to look at these historical facts and say, even if we do it today, nothing is going to change. But what I want to say is that if we hold the bolt from the horns, something will change. I'm talking to Cameroonians. Those who voted in 2018 voted and nothing changed. But we have, over the years, should be able to analyze to find out exactly what went wrong, that nothing changed. If we can be able to find out what went wrong, that nothing changed, we can better vote. Reason being that he has analyzed a lot of people, some who go to the polling station, who will not vote for anybody, who carry all the votes and give it and just put in the envelope. That is not counted. He has mentioned those who will not even go to the polling station at all. Now, these are the people that even help the CPDM to win. Okay, those who don't vote, because we look at absenteeism.
I think it's an analytic.
If you look at absenteeism, analytic. I am being analytic. If you look at absenteeism over the years, 2018, how many people?
You cannot demonstrate what you're saying.
I can.
No, you cannot.
I am heading right there.
You have statistics.
Yes.
To see that people who are not going to police station.
Yes.
From the CPDM, you people should be responsible.
I am heading there.
Allow him to talk.
I am heading there, and I'll take responsibility.
I'm going to ask him the questions.
I am heading there.
Because the statistics of what
I am heading there, and I will take responsibility even after this place. Now, in 2018, the number of people that voted for President Paul Biya to lead Cameroon, there were less than 3 million. A country of more than 6 million registered voters, and 2 million decide who becomes the president. The remaining about 4 million that didn't vote, those are the people that made him to win. Because those are people that if they have casted their ballots, they could have been the change. So voter appetite historically has never been in favor of the people. Because the moment, like I said the other time, the moment you don't cast your vote, you've already voted for the person that is in power. Automatically, as in a no vote means you've allowed the person to remain there. You are indecisive. Voter appetite is some sort of indecisiveness as far as the voting process is concerned. But like I said, historically you cannot blame people for behaving the way they are behaving. But I am saying that if we can be able to realize that how the rigging machine functions, and we can realize that we as a people can dismantle it if we engage, there is no need to be standing on the fence. There is no need to absent from the things that concerns your life, because life, like in Cameroon, like everywhere else, evolves around politics. And the second thing is failing systems and institutions can promote or are promoting voter appetite. Yeah. There are a lot of people that doesn't want to vote because they don't trust in Elekam, for several reasons that they can enumerate them, and nobody is going to blame them for that. There are a lot of people that are not going to cast their vote because they don't trust the Constitutional Council. First of all, its function and its composition. But it's already mentioned that we are going in for a competition where a player is the referee, or where the player decides who the referee and the linesmen are. Automatically at this particular level, there is already a need for people not to even want to participate, because they feel like the people that are going to take the final decision are the people who are going to take the decision against them, not for them. But what I want to say is that if we realize that in every system, no matter how strong it is, there are always holes. We can enter through those holes and hold these people responsible and have them say the things that we have asked them to say. Because at the end of the day, presidential elections are not conducted at a particular single national polling station. It is conducted at several polling stations, which therefore means that the declaration of who becomes the president starts from the casting of a single vote. And it starts from a single polling station to the divisional coordination, to the regional coordination, before we have the final national result. It is now left to Cameroonians to ensure that whatever vote they cast, it is the result that they have produced that is declared. It's not an institution. Elecam on its own or Constitutional Council on its own cannot overcome the Cameroon people, because it is the Cameroon people that have given them the power, even if it is not directly given to them by the Cameroonian people. But if we rise and realize that these institutions, we can hold them responsible, there will be no way they will say the things that we haven't said, because we know what it was like from the beginning, and we're expecting what it should be like in the end. I want to add here by saying that Honorable Cabral did mention that the day we will have valid proofs of results from polling stations, we will have valid proof of results at the end of the presidential election, because there will be no way it will be touted along the line, whereas the people have the truth and then people sit down. If we can prove that this is what happened here, but this is what you are saying, the Cameroon people can have can have change in the process, which is very possible, because a single institution cannot overcome the people if the people rise. We're talking about 8 million this year. Now, the last point before
fast.
Yeah, is lack of education. When you listen to people talk about voting in Cameroon, you rarely hear people have constructive discussions around voting. It's always a pointing of a finger. This one is working for the regime. No, this one is not a true opposition. No, this one has already taken bread and sardine and all of that. But if we emphasize more on programs like this one and many others, there is going to be that change. And of course, that's why we have an increase in the number of registered voters this year to about 8 million or more. So, but with time, I can be proud to say that things are not going to be the same. And I encourage every Cameroonian, you have your voter's card, please be ready to vote and make sure that your vote counts. Thank you.
Yes, Queen, you were eager to talk.
Yes, Mr. Kenji. Thank you. We finally got to my turn.
Of course.
Again. And I've been listening to what all these intelligent men have been saying about the subject matter. I think, however, that we need to go back to the drawing board. Okay. The question we are addressing is whether voter apathy is a sign of a healthy democracy or a failing democracy.
Yes, that's a great question.
I really just think that we have derailed a little from the subject matter, and we've been answering other questions.
Yeah, that's why I was supposed to come this second round to give a question so that we answer.
Yes, okay.
Because I discovered we were...
Yes, we're talking about other things, except for whether this or that. Now, we all agree, my co-panelist mentioned earlier on after I gave the definition of apathy and voter apathy, he did say that Cameroon has never been in a democracy at all. Okay, I don't want to dispute anybody's point of view. However, I would prefer to say that Cameroon is in a failed democracy, because even if there has just been documents that have been signed, laws that have been agreed upon, ratified, signed, for Cameroon to be in a democracy, there are many other indicators that tell us that Cameroon has failed in its democratic attempts. And I would start by the rankings of the Freedom House. Freedom House has as its ranking for Cameroon a very low score of 15 on 100, indicating that Cameroon is a total failed democracy. When we want to look at voter apathy, you cannot just jump from the main cause to addressing whether political, it's rather unfortunate that my co-panelist is not really attentive, the speaker from the ruling party. I heard him commenting on what another panelist mentioned, saying that political leaders are supposed to convince citizens to vote. Voter apathy, the problem of voter apathy doesn't start from whether political leaders are convincing people or not. It starts from whether the system even permits for the citizens to feel free with their voices, with their votes. And Freedom House says that Cameroon is ranked 15 on 100 as of 2025 ranking. So this is a very recent update. Transparency International scores Cameroon 26 on 100. And so Cameroon secures the 140th position out of 180 countries. So we are just like 40 countries to the bottom, indicating also that we have a serious problem of democracy. So we are not even a failing democracy, we are a failed democracy. This is a fact. We are not attacking the government. We are just stating the facts of our system.
Statistics.
Yes, it is the statistics, of course. This is what stats say. So nobody should come for me. They should go for Freedom House and Transparency International.
Okay, now
political power, Mr. Jude.
Yes.
Political power. We would say, of course, everybody knows that President Paul Biya is wanting to run for the 8th term.
That's if he's the one.
That is if he is the one. If he is the one, then he will be running for the 8th term as president of this country.
I think President Paul Biya already tabled this.
You okay. Him. Someone did for him.
So permit me, please.
Going to
one thing I would want to say is that in as much as we have speculations about things, I would always say it is better to say what you have concrete evidence of. So I really don't want to know whether someone, you know, postulated for him or he did it himself. The fact is that he wants to run, and he will be running for his 8th term as president. So civil liberties, conflict and governance, corruption and institutional weaknesses, there is just a lot of evidence that Cameroon is not in a failing democracy, but Cameroon is in a failed democracy. Now, what does a failed democracy have as an impact on the citizens? People feel like there is no need to make an effort because our efforts will not yield any fruit. I think this is what we are addressing. The fact that citizens in Cameroon do not feel the urge to get involved in political processes. Why? Because there is not as much liberty as there should be in Cameroon. I think the last program I attended here, again, fortunately with you, we were talking about how to school citizens, how to inform citizens. You don't only go there with your voter's card, you vote, and you stay there to monitor your vote. Why? Because we want to avoid the problem of people complaining later on that our votes were rigged. But now the question of voter apathy is answering why people vote and they don't stay to monitor. Because they already know, for some reason, that their vote will not count. If you ask a random citizen on the street now that who do you think will be the potential president, many people will tell you, okay, we know that A or B will be president because d'office, it's been 8 terms, and no matter what we have done as citizens to secure transparency, it has not yielded any fruit, right? This is the question of voter apathy that we are looking at. I agree with whoever says that political actors need to present better political projects. But for my co-panelists of the ruling party who said that, I do not think that the ruling party presents any better projects than any other political leaders.
That's if they present.
Of course they do. There is no political party that doesn't. You know, we are actually, yes, I mean, I don't think we are debating to downplay or downtalk anybody. We are actually debating very objectively.
Certainly.
So every political party has a political project that they are presenting, but it will be sheer cowardice to say that someone doesn't present a political project. I also would not agree with any panelists who would say that some political leaders, when they eventually succeed to secure a council, they are not able to prove to the people. Now, at the global, he also mentioned the micro and the macro vision, right? I would say at the macro level, the governance system, the system we have in place, they have disappointed Cameroonians for over 40 years, saying things that they don't get to do. So it is normal to see that in every system, there are loopholes. There are things you will say that you will not do. But when it becomes more of the failures than the successes, it means that that system has a flaw. And then the citizens begin to lose interest.
Okay, Queen, now I want to ask you this question.
Yes.
How can we increase civic engagement and increase citizens to participate in the electoral process?
Like the last program again that I attended, Mr. Jude, I'm still going to tell you that the most we can do right now is massive sensitization, which again, I appreciate the fact that most political parties, I don't want to say every, because there are political parties that we don't even know about. You hear the name and you're hearing it for the first time. So most political parties have been doing a lot of work sensitizing first their supporters and then the general public about the importance of securing a voter's card when, you know, the doors were still open for people to secure voter registration cards, and also mobilizing people to understand that it is not enough to get your card. It is most important for you to get the card, go to the polling station, cast a vote, stay there, monitor your vote. This is the most we can do right now, ensuring. And secondly, we also need to put an eye on the ELECAM to make sure that it is a free and fair election. No bias, you know, no favoritism, really just transparent and fair. Again, I understand that when you talk about such things, the governance system looks at it as an attack on them. But this is part of our civic responsibility as citizens to point out the areas where we think there has been flaws in the past, and to make people know that we all need to keep our eyes vigilant, and we all need to bring all hands on deck henceforth. ELECAM needs to be held accountable. They need to reassure on a regular that this time around it is really going to be free and fair. Now, we citizens on our part, we need to also be conscious that if we do not vote, then we are voting for the person we don't want to vote for.
Exactly.
So we have to go there and vote. We also need to be aware that voting is not enough. We need to stay there and monitor. Political parties need to ensure that they are talking to their militants and their supporters. What is the code of conduct when you eventually go to vote? This is what we need to be doing right now.
Okay.
Because again, I will repeat that I feel like we are derailing from the question of whether apathy is a sign of a failing democracy in Cameroon or not, and we are answering questions that are important but are not the questions that we're supposed to be answering, like as of today. So we need to just make sure about this, whether the CPDM or the CPNR or MRC, whichever, sorry, not MRC because they are okay. Yeah, but they have people that they're definitely going to be supporting, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Or the SDF or Univer, whichever one. Yes, whichever party is going to stand as and send in a representative as candidate, we just need to ensure that the apathy should not be a sign of the failed democracy again. We should not even talk about apathy this year.
Yeah.
We should talk about total consciousness. We should talk about total enthusiasm and concern and the willingness to push a change. I don't know, maybe we're going to having subsequent topics where we are going to be addressing the question of the desire for people to bring a change to Cameroon and stuff. It's another extensive topic on its own. Yeah, but really that is it. Maybe you should reformulate our questions so we are addressing the real thing we are looking at here. It's not about whether CPDM is doing what or not doing. It's not about what CPNR is doing what or not doing. It is about whether Cameroon has failed in its democratic processes or not. And I would say that Cameroon is in a failed democracy. We have the stats.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Queen. I want to ask you the same question, Barrister, but this time around I want us to be brief because we've taken about close to an hour just for the first round. So I want everybody to talk. Now I want to ask you, how can we increase civic engagement and encourage citizens to participate in the electoral process? At the beginning, you told us you were making us understand that we are not even actually living in a democratic environment. Now, I want to ask you, how do you think citizens should be involved to make sure they participate in the electoral process?
The first thing is, Mr. Kenja, I used to say, I have said, I think in previous programs that the right, when we talk about human rights are acquired, rights are never given.
Okay.
Which means, when we talk about increase in civil participation and whatever, you see that if we are in a democracy, it will be a concerted action. Concerted in that policymakers will create a conducive environment that everybody feels concerned. With this, that means the policies, the program which are put in place would permit that, that to raise that civic awareness in the people, to ignite. That is a role of that is a role of the governance system which will be put in place. Now, the different actors, like the individual, should first and foremost know that it is your civic responsibility, Mr. Kenji, that nobody should come to remind you. If we are even talking about the issue that we are reminded, people should be reminded to do this, it's because of the fact that they themselves are not aware of what they are supposed to do. And so it begins first with self, oneself. With this, I think, as a Cameroonian, at times I want to say that the problems we are going through may not even be because of an individual or the system, but because of the context in which we find ourselves. Because when you find I don't want to accuse the educational system, but that when you see people, educated persons, who say talking about registration or voting, that we have, I have colleagues, I have people of the judicial family that I have had to talk with them, and they say, I cannot go to vote, I cannot go to register, stop wasting their time. So, because of the, like my Mr. Hans was talking about history, talking about history, but people fail to understand that the history we lived yesterday may not be the same if I stand to impact in the history of today, and that is a legacy that we have to live. So, the citizen must first understand that no matter whatever they are living, it is because they have condoned to it. And that is why they should actually not see it as a problem, because they have accepted it and they should simply join in with it. Right. So when they will be conscious of the fact that we want to get rid of this thing, or we want to get rid of this behavior which is not good, I want to take the simplest example, which is corruption today. Cameroonians is not somebody, I don't want to say it is Mr. X or Mr. Y who will say go and give 500 to this policeman in order to get your to pass on the control post when the car is stopped, or when you are getting to an office, you prepare an envelope, you have to see the boss. This one has become part and parcel. It is like the part and the DNA of the Cameroonians. So, and who will come to get it out of you? It is not barrister who shall come to tell Mr. Kenji that what you are doing is bad. But you must first of all gain the consciousness that what I am doing is bad. I have to move out of it. By so doing, you shall be preaching that let's get out of it. As we are here on this platform, a program like this will be educating the masses. And when we would collectively accept that this is the way forward, let's get out of our past and forge ahead in a new vision, with a new vision, I think we shall, the civic awareness that we are talking of today, Mr. Kenji, we shall get out of it. But I will say, I think the real problem today is not even that of the Cameroonians. I would not want to attribute that to the Cameroonians, but I want to attribute it to the governance system which has been put in place.
Right.
Thank you.
The governance system which has been put in place is like a closed circle, and it is not, I want to believe that it is not conscious of the fact that there is time to sow, there is time to reap, there is time to marry, and there is time to exit. When the governance is like eternal, is like operating in the form of an eternal system put in place, at times the people too may be fed up to say, no, let's just let. It's like when they say, we used to say in common parlance that if you are in the bathroom taking your bath, and a mad person comes and picks your dress, you will not get out of it.
Yeah, allow the mad person to go.
People have that. Many Cameroonians today are fed up, and they believe that the system is drunk, and let's just allow it to do until the day they feel that God will save us. God will save us. And I think that as we say God will save us, we should not only say God will save us to sit, but we should be doing something from the individual level to know that when God finally comes, we shall be ready to receive the God himself, because with the mentality we have today, even it is Christ who comes, Cameroonians may even question, what have you come to do?
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. I want to take this message coming in from Mr. Hassan. He says, good evening to your panelists. Clarifications. Voters' apathy is not voting and not staying on the spot to oversee that his or her votes are taken into consideration. It means not going to the polls to cast your vote, but comes back to complain about bad governance. He goes further to say, ELECAM or the Constitutional Council can be held responsible for the ease of elections in Cameroon. The citizens, that is the electorate, should stand firm for their involvement in the democratization of their society. The changes that are going on in other countries are not by coincidence. These are efforts of the citizens. They are ready to sacrifice everything they have to arrive at their destination, which unfortunately is not the case in Cameroon. Cameroonians, especially the youth, are essentially bold cowards. That's a message coming from Mr. Hassan. Yeah, and yeah, I want to ask you this question. Bless, what do you think should be done in order to avoid this aspect that Cameroonians don't actually go to vote, but they are the ones to complain about bad governance?
Mr. Kenji, as I said in my first round,
yes,
that what accounts to voters' apathy, we have when there is no accountability, it's got a way citizens to exercise their vote. When public services are not delivered at the right moment, it scares Cameroonians not to participate in the electoral process. When Cameroonians do not feel themselves, that is, feel comfortable in the environment, that is when they don't have access to some basic facilities, of which they know very well that it is their money that they sponsor the state through taxes, and in return they don't receive anything. It scares them away. So there are so many things, so many factors that surround this situation, and I think we here sitting here, I think we have a role to play, that is sensitize Cameroonians, tell them the importance of politics, because people have created another connotation concerning politics. When you talk of politics, people see the evil behind politics. Why they don't know that it is through politics that people can access to public offices or political offices. Political parties are just like instruments. They are just like instruments, and people need to focus on what political parties give outside as a message, and not focus on individuals. Because if you focus on individual, maybe, as I said from the onset, behavioral factors that we need to look upon when it comes to our politicians. When you see some politician acting some kind of funny way in the political scene, it breaks that connection with the people who have the power. And also, I will talk of the education. You see, some of us, it is unfortunate that it is at a certain stage that some people start getting information concerning how things are being managed in the states. Meanwhile, these are things that need to be taught at the base. That is from the primary, the secondary, so that to put that patriotic spirit into the citizens. But like one of the panelists said here, that some colleagues said at times when he tells some of the colleagues that they should go and register, they say, why would they go and register? Meanwhile, you know, he says so because he doesn't really know the impact when he doesn't participate. To take a political decisions, you need to cast a vote. When you start teaching people from the base like that, they will inculcate that culture of participating in the political process, that someone will know that if really I need a good road, if I need potable water, if I need good schools, if I need a job that is not a job job which is being selective, because we live in an area where the unemployment rate is very alarming due to nepotism, as I said, corruption and other vice. When someone feels himself comfortable in that environment and the state plays her role as a protective state and not a state that is there to oppress the people, that is suppress you, the little that you have, they squeeze from your pocket, the little business that you have, you will see the tax officers that are there to collect, and even the money that they collect is not, it's very big. It's at times, at times when you pay, at times you feel that that is the carry part of your capital. That is hardship when the state, who is supposed to protect the people, like one of the politicians, like Honorable Karbabi, he has a statement which he often says, a Cameroon that protects and enlists energy. It means it is when the people feel themselves secured that they can enlist their potentials, that they can feel concerned. So, I won't take long or monopolize the mic, just to say, Cameroonians, as I earlier said, for people to start participating in its education, we need to start educating people from the base, and we need that is those who are in charge of public policies. They need to be sincere. They need to be sincere from the base. That is, look at our educational system. Look at the curriculum. What are we giving to the people in terms of the education? What concerns us? That is the states, our living together, national cohesion, all those things. These are things that we need to start learning from the base. And Cameroonians need to understand and understand each other. Because I've come to realize that we don't know each other. That is, that lack of trust also exists. When you see some people are abstained, maybe they don't have trust to the candidates, because they feel that since you are not from my tribe, or since you are not from my region, you can't really feel that pain, or know my needs, the need of what the things that let's say maybe a candidate who is from the center, maybe you from the northwest, you say, I can't vote for him because really he doesn't understand the situation in which I live in my region. That is, we need to create an environment where Cameroonians need to know themselves, know each other, know themselves, understand their culture, understand who they are, so that we can build that trust within us. It will reduce, it will come to reduce some of these problems.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blaise. Still coming from, before we get to you, Full Godfred, this message still coming from Mr. Hassan. He says, good evening to my friends Blazo, Hansen, and Fu. I'm enjoying your interventions on the set. Thank you, madam, for your power of research. Sorry, I don't really know the barrister, but you guys are wonderful. Thanks, Mr. Journalist, for your choice on the panel. Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan.
Thank you, Mr. Hassan.
Yeah, I want to come to you. Now, what do you think should be done to those? I'll ask the same question. Who will sit and they're not willing to vote, but they are the first to complain?
Mr. Jude, you know, when I'm inside my room, I don't want to talk about people outside.
Okay.
And for that sake,
what are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating that when they talk about, you know, there are people who have become experts who think that they can give lessons to Cameroonians, but theoretically, they can give lessons to Cameroonians without them saying what they have done on the field. And I think politics is practice. You have to be able to practice what you are saying.
Politics means action.
Action. Political action. So, I belong to a party. And when they talk about a party, they talk about a militant, they talk about an ideology, they talk about project, and they talk about vote. That's what they call party. And that is why I said there are political parties that will appear, maybe unipersonnel political party. That's, you know, only the president. You don't know who is the militant. You have never seen them gathering somewhere. One-man party. Yes, but they go in, maybe with a small councillor that they had one day, and they go in for presidential election, and they will come and give lessons to people who have belief that after any victory, if you want to stand, you have to prepare for another victory. And I want to tell you, now I want to talk as the militant of CBGM.
But don't you think politics depends on, as you talk about political ideology, if somebody is willing to convince a majority of people, they can also win?
That's I think, if I'm trying to understand you.
Yeah, so
yeah, when they talk about
I'm not seeing need of maybe talking like maybe you just some group of people having an access to a municipality can't be given that opportunity to as well gain power.
You know, maybe I'm not really understanding.
Okay, this is my question.
Yes.
My question is, do you think that just because you own, let me use the word own, or you control a small municipality, you can't be able to have access to power?
No, not that you can't be. See, I wanted.
Do you think somebody just wins because he has been in power? Is it not based on the political ideology?
Yeah, if somebody is already having a council, it simply means there is
from that council the person can rise up to something.
That council can serve as an example for other people to join his political vision or his ideology. Yes, at least that one has won some kind of minds. But today, you discover that when I want to take, when you see the way we worked at the level of CBTM, we have conference with the youth, YW, that's the women. We have conference with elite to train them and let them know the line of our politics and what we can propose. And from there, sometimes we have other people that we call sympathizers, those who admire the way we are working. You understand? Not like you stand and spray and say people should come and vote for me. Those people should be convinced. And to convince a militant, one militant, it takes a lot of time.
Okay, this is the question I'm asking you. Looking at the televiewers who are watching, what are you going to tell Cameroonians, especially those who sit and they have this habit of not going to vote, but they are the first to complain? What are you telling them as we prepare for the October 12th presidential election?
In a democracy, like in a democracy country like Cameroon,
yes,
when you refuse to vote, just know that you will be you have to obey the laws made by people that you did not choose. So you have to cast your vote, because casting your vote is another way to participate in the management of the public affairs.
The decision.
And for that reason, choose the right person. Because you know there are people who will come today and say they can transform Cameroon with a magic magic stick.
Magic wand.
Maybe just because they think that by saying so. I think Cameroonians today are so wise. And at certain moment, when you discover that there are some who decide not to go to for voting, it's just because when they look at the people in front of them, they don't see those who are really serious. But I think that with the 8 million Cameroonians who have regularly registered today, it shows a sign. And I heard somebody who said the Cameroon is a failing democracy.
That's
A failed democracy, yes.
I think
It's failed democracy,
we didn't say failure, we said failed.
A failed democracy.
Yes.
Yes, I want to think that she may be just a stranger in Cameroon.
She's a Cameroonian.
She's a Cameroonian.
No, include me. I'm also a Cameroonian.
Okay,
yeah, we are all Cameroonians.
Yes, and
I'm with her.
Yes, we have a legislative corps that have been voted by Cameroonians. And I want to take the Honorable Cabral Libi, who is, I don't know, maybe he's 9 mandate today, who adventure, and today he is a political leader in Cameroon. He was voted. He was not appointed. He was not somebody who was appointed. You understand?
Yes.
And it is through bylaw box that he became what he is today.
Mr.
And if you see
I didn't say
His
it alone.
Excellency President Paul Biya, who is on the power today,
even Transparency
he has
International
always
says
been, his powers has always been renewed through bylaw box. But if there are people who have not been voting,
Yes.
you understand?
Yes.
Even if you are the president, you have only 1 vote. And if you refuse to vote, don't be surprised to respect the laws, vote by those whom you refuse to vote.
Okay, then yes, thank you very much.
I agree.
Yes, I want Hansi to talk.
Just a second.
Because that's the second round. Yes, Bless, I'll come back to you when we're doing when we're rounding up. Yes, Hansi. Looking at Cameroonians, they're watching you. We're here to educate them. We're here to tell them what is our worries, or what are our worries, and as well to analyze certain aspects. Now, what are you going to tell these people who see it and they don't really have interest in voting, but they are the first to complain about bad governance?
You know, after I was in the field for voter registration campaign severally. I remember the day I had to seek his assistance at Marche Mindong. I've been at Carrefour, Biamasi severally with Blaise, Yo Blaise, Fabrice Lena, and a lot of others, which therefore means that was the beginning of me making sure that Cameroonians start generating that idea of being part of the change they want to see in Cameroon. That was me doing my part, and a good number of people did register. Of course, I want to remind them to get their voters card as soon as possible.
Go now, collect.
Yeah, and the second thing is that each people deserve their leaders.
Certainly.
Yes. If there's one thing I want to agree with him is the fact that when you don't vote for people, the people that voted whoever they voted for live with it. And when I get myself recently in a political discussion with somebody, when I ask you, do you have a voter's card, and you say no, topic change. As in, what exactly am I going to be discussing with the youth about voting who doesn't have a voter's card at this particular moment? So my message is just now only to those who have their voter's card. If we want to see a change in Cameroon, we have to be part of the change process. Change power has never been given. it is taken. And if the CPDM is still failing for these 43 years and ready to take another 7 years to make it 50 years, it is simply because we have folded our hands and watched it happen. And we don't expect them to transfer power. That power must be taken by somebody more powerful than they are. And that is the Cameroon people. If we decide to fold our hands and watch it crumble down, it is our business. Somebody already mentioned that the kind of Cameroon we have is the Cameroon we have built. And we should, Barista did that, and we should live with it. And I want to ask this question to our parents who don't want to vote, who feel like it's failing. Is this the kind of Cameroon you want to live for your children? And I want to ask for those of us who are young, who are getting to our old age, is this the kind of Cameroon that we want to see our children grow in? There is enough reason for us to vote. There is already enough reason for us to participate in the voting process. There is already enough reason for us to rise up to our feet. I don't see any reason why somebody living in this kind of a Cameroon should be expecting another person to encourage them to participate in the change process of their own country. So my encouragement to those who sit around and do nothing and expect change to come is the fact that we are part of the suffering. At least even if we don't agree on the solution process, we agree on the problem. Which therefore means that we should rise up and be ready to do that which is necessary as far as changing Cameroon is concerned. Thank you.
Yes, before we round up, you wanted to say something, or maybe let me get to this message from Mr. Hassan.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Mr. Godfrey, how will you see other parties on the field when your government will never allow them organize rallies? That's what the question is asking. Blazo, you insinuated that Cameroonians need political education. Yes and no. Cameroonians are politically very conscious, but what makes them appear nonchalant is the excess food in Cameroon. Deprive them from food, Nimbo, and others, you won't recognize the desired population you had concluded.
No.
That is what Hassan is saying this evening.
Let me answer to
that when you deprive Cameroonians from food, Nimbo, and other things, you won't recognize them. Is it true?
No. We can't deprive Cameroonian for
food, Nimbo?
Food. No.
Yeah.
I think
from food. No, don't add Mimbo. He didn't add Mimbo.
I'm reading the message from
even Mimbo.
Yeah,
even Mimbo. They are developed countries where people consume more than Cameroon. Yeah. The countries are well developed than Cameroon.
Okay.
So the problem doesn't lie on the food,
on the drinks,
and on the drinks. It lies on the public policies, the bad public policies that those who are there. That is a handful of people who are there feeding fat on our riches. They are there. They don't care about our well-being. They don't care if we need good educational system, or we need good health facilities, or we need good roads, or whatsoever. What matters for them is their family and themselves. So that's the reason why we are here. We are calling for Cameroonians that we need to come. October is it's an opportunity, if I can say so. It's an opportunity for us to rewrite our history, rewrite our future. That is our common destiny. Because when they talk of presidential election, it means the #1 person of the country.
Okay,
the
now
person who controls the destiny of a country.
Yes,
so I just want to tell people that staying back, staying without casting your vote, or staying without participating in the electoral process doesn't change anything.
Okay, thank you very much.
When you abstain from participating, you are contributing for this regime to stay for long.
Okay, we have 7 minutes to pack our bags out of the studio. I want to begin with you. What's the take-home message?
Now, the take-home message is that Cameroonians should get to Elekam head office, that is a communal head office, collect their voters'
various branches.
The various branches.
Yes.
Collect their various, voters' card. Or if you don't see your voters' card, there is one receipt that they issue. The day you come for registration, keep that paper judiciously. Keep it very well in a special environment. And then in the day on the 12th of October, we should come up massively. They are not asking you to do. Just come and cast your vote. Let's come up massively. Let's just try and do what happened in 1992 I'm just saying 1992, we should just give only 19%. I see insist 90% of abstention. 90%, because in 2018 it was at 46. Imagine if you can make 46, you can do the you can do the rough arithmetic or whatsoever. You see 46% of 6 million. You will know what happened. So let's make this figure to drop to 19% as the case in 1992. And you will tell me if the regime, the ruling power, the regime in place, who is the cause of what we are, the hell that we are living in Cameroon, if they will still stay.
Okay.
So that's all I can tell Cameroonians. Let's participate massively and control our vote. That's another aspect.
Thank you very much.
We need to tell them.
Yes, Queen, you wanted to say
when
something.
you are not there,
You
the
gave my
election.
Yeah, no, I'm going to give you about 50 seconds.
To Mr. Bless.
No, Bless.
Which,
I'm
I
going to give the lone lady on set today about 50 seconds
So
before you can give your take-home message.
Yes, what I wanted to add was just in line with what Mr. Hassan said. You know, while Cameroon maintains a high theory of multi-party system, it is not news to anybody that political competition is highly restricted and restrained in Cameroon. That is no news to anybody. So opposition parties are very much suppressed. Yes. And the rules surrounding candidate eligibility are manipulated, and electoral bodies also lack total independence. And to Mr. Godfrey, thank you for noticing that I said Cameroon is a failed democracy. I said it. I'm taking responsibility for it.
You have only one vote.
However,
so you can say
no,
that.
it doesn't.
No, not like that.
It's your mindset.
No.
Can you let me land?
Say that you have no reason to give to Cameroonians
Oh,
who
wow.
are voting for law. Maybe
No,
that politics.
no. I didn't give you the opportunity to talk.
And today you are where one of the elements.
I didn't give you the opportunity to talk. Please,
politician
allow her to talk.
stability. I believe that once upon a time
I have always been part of the Popular Action Party.
Yes, that's it.
Still part of the Popular Action Party.
Expert in communication.
I am still part of the Popular Action Party.
To come today as a communicator of P. That's stability.
I have always
She's a communication expert.
So you are even confused.
No.
That is why sometimes
She is not confused.
Voters are parties. You are one of them.
No. Mr. Fool, girlfriend.
You know,
I never gave you the opportunity to talk to her.
What I like about communicants of the CPDM is that when we get on platforms like this, they feel like because of the autocracy that they are taught, they can always shun anybody at any time. However, it doesn't work for everyone, right? I said that Cameroon is a failed democracy. Transparency International has given its statistics. Freedom House has given its statistics. Many other Cameroonians feel it and they know it. It is a fact. You all should understand, when we say that we are in a failed democracy, you should not feel ashamed. We are pointing out the flaws. If you make the system, you the ruling party, if you make the governance system better, nobody will ask you to leave. Excuse me, it is my turn to talk.
Yes,
it is my turn to talk, please.
Militants.
It is my turn to talk. This is a sign that they don't practice democracy. This is just a sign because they don't let people express themselves. Freedom of speech. Thank you.
So what should be the take-home message?
Mr. Jude, my minutes are not done. My seconds that you gave me are not done.
Of course.
Yes.
You have a few seconds.
When we say that we are in a democracy, when we say that Cameroon is a failed democracy, we are not giving you the shame of your life. It's not an attack as you see it. We are literally pointing out the errors in our country with our governance system, because we are part of the system.
Exactly.
And the responsibility of the system is to listen to the complaints of the people and make amends. If the ruling party does what Cameroonians want, nobody will be asking you to leave because we'll all be satisfied. So dear Cameroonians, we are in a failed democracy, and the only way we can ameliorate this system is if we cast our vote, if we stop practicing voter apathy.
Against the failed democracy.
Against the failed democracy. We need to vote. We need to make sure that by every means possible, we are replacing the existing system with a better system, and we can only do so by voting. So, thank you, Mr. Jude.
Minister, what is the take-home message?
Thank you, Mr. Kenji. My take-home message is very, very simple. I will begin by drawing the attention of, I think Mr. Kwajika made mention about the rate of participation in 2018, talking about 46% abstention, and trying to encourage that Cameroonians should not abstain today. But the 46%, I doubt if they have made any inquiry from, I am not a politician, I doubt if 46% abstention in 2018 has been verified to see whether these were real
absentees.
These were real electors or ghost electors which are on the electoral register. Because this is a problem that when we are talking about voters apathy, we should not ignore
transparency.
There may be ghost workers, ghost voters who are just there to inflict the population as it may be. But on the message of this evening is to say that draw particular attention of female Cameroonians that who have reduced themselves from the political arena to emulate the example of this brilliant lady here by my left.
Well, someone said I am confused.
I'm very, very happy.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
I'm very, very happy.
No, you are not.
I'm very happy to have a lady on a panel like this, and I pray that many of you come.
Thank you very much, Master.
We can build a nation, because we cannot build a nation without
thank you very much, full government. And what is the take-home message? We have few seconds to pack our bags.
Yes, I think I want to thank my co-panelists, and I want to thank His Excellency President Paul for give that, because you know freedom of speech is one of the it's a human fundamental right, and that is one of the achievement of His Excellency President Paul Biya. And I want to thank the militants and sympathizers of the CBGM who have always been stable, focused, and I think at the eve of October 12th, we are going to give His Excellency President Paul Biya, that's President Paul Biya, our national president, a clean, clear, transparent and unambiguous victory.
Thank you very much. Hansen, what's the take-home message?
My take-home message to you listeners and dear Cameroonians is that keep tribalism aside and realize that we are only slaves under the same system, and vote for change. Thank you.
Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. It is on this note that we draw the curtains of our program this evening. We urge you to stay tuned to other programs on Info Television. Hopefully, we shall be right back next week for same exercise. God bless Cameroon. Good night.
Good night.